So a lot of you guys already know that the team builder has been down for the better part of 48 hours. It might even be more at this point. We're getting that image validation error and that content policy violation error, which are all just, it's nonsense, and I'm not sure why it's not fixed yet. But in the meantime, I haven't been able to record the team builder videos and the Jaguars videos even that I've been wanting to do because of this issue, team builder data not refreshing and all that stuff. So I wanted to bring you this video today, kind of, in my journey to help you guys, especially those of you that are new to the game, figure all these things out, how to read these defender letters or these read keys that you're going to get pre-play, in game. So this will help you in any game that you're in, whether it be versus an AI or a human opponent. But before we jump into it real quick, man, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support lately, man. You guys make this all worth it. You guys really do. Best community in the universe by far, and it's not even close. If you guys are rocking with me, but you're not subscribed yet, consider sticking around and joining me on this journey, man, because it's going to get a lot better. And if you have a good time in this video and you learned something, leave it a like for me, because it helps so much more than I ever could have imagined. But enough of me. Let's jump into this right now, and hopefully I can help you guys out if some of this stuff has been a little bit murky for you. Now, on this particular play, we'll start off, and you'll see the M. I'll start off with the M. Most of us know what this means by now. This is the Mike linebacker, okay? We can ID the Mike. Now, all this really means here is that it's telling our offensive line who the guy is that we should be focused on if we have an extra blocker, right? And that could be either an offensive lineman that will focus on him, or in a lot of cases, it'll be the running back. So if I go to this coach vision here, and I go to blocking if I hold L2, and then use the right stick to look at blocking, as you can see, I have my running back blocking, and so he is going to focus on that linebacker. If I go into pass protection by hitting R3 and then holding L1 and then hit X to ID the Mike, I can go back and forth and, change the Mike, hit X to select a new Mike linebacker. And then boom, as you can see, now he's the Mike, right? The guy on the left instead of the guy on the right is now the Mike. So if we go to the coach vision now and we look at this, now the running back assignment has not changed. However, the offensive line's assignment has absolutely changed because I'm telling them, hey, I want that guy to be picked up. Now, using this exact same play, as you can see here, we don't know for sure exactly what's going to happen with that defensive back, but that flame above his head means that if he was to come on a blitz, we don't have a blocker for him. And as you can see, the reason that the other DBs aren't showing that is because they're not within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Clearly, as you can see, if they're not close enough to the line of scrimmage, they won't get any kind of, they won't get any kind of icon. But this defensive back right here is close enough. He's playing, kind of press, not really press, but he's playing closer up to the line of scrimmage enough to where we're saying, listen, if this guy comes off a blitz, we have nobody. We have nobody to protect him. The only way that we could fix that issue is if, let's say, if I go to a hot route. So I'm going to hit triangle, hit X, and then if I hit R2 for my tight end to pass block, now all of a sudden, boom, we have nobody with the flame above their head, because if that guy does come off of the edge there on the DB, we have protection. Now, he probably won't, right? Because I have Saunders here on a slant. He's probably just going to pick him up. But either way, I now have him picked up. I'll go back to it again and show you guys real quick here. If I go to X, again, let's say I put him on a post, boom, you can see that flame is back above his head because we have nobody, to pick him up. And obviously, it is zone. He did not come on a blitz, but you could see if he had come on a blitz, we would have had nobody to pick him up. Now, next, I selected a read option play because I want to show you guys what this R is over here. This defensive end over on the left, as from our perspective, is our read key defender, is what that means, right? Now, you're only going to see this on like RPOs and read options, so I wanted to pick a read option to show you what's going to happen. Now, if this guy, depending on what this guy does, we are going to make a decision based off of that, right? So if we just hike the ball and don't press anything, it'll hand it off up the middle to our running back Singleton here. If we actually hit X or hold X, we will keep it with the quarterback, and it's all going to depend on what this read key defender does. Now, I'm going to hike the ball and show you an example of this. If he stays and kind of lurks on the outside there, we are going to hand it off up the middle and try to get as many yards as we can. But if he crashes down inside, we might be able to keep it with the quarterback and run to the outside. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So he actually, I didn't even do it right there. I actually should have kept that with the quarterback. Now, there's a good example of the read key defender kind of lurked. You see how he kind of lurked to the outside there. Now, that we didn't get much, but we still did make the right read in that particular case because he was kind of, he didn't crash inside. He basically waited, and if we would have kept it with the quarterback, he would have been right there waiting for us. Now, when we look at an RPO play, we have the exact same thing. We have this read key defender out here. This guy right here, based on what he does, that's going to determine what we do. So let's say, for instance, if he comes on a blitz, it's a good idea to probably get it out to Wallace there, right? If he stays out there in coverage, then maybe handing it off up the middle. I'm sorry, I can't even talk. Handing it off up the middle would be the viable option. And in this particular setup, in this particular formation, Fleming may not really be an option. He's got 2 defenders on him out there on the left. So probably not an option here, right? So we either want to hand it off or we want to hit Wallace based off what that read key defender does. And I'll hike the play and show you exactly what I mean here, right? Now, he came in. As soon as I see that he came in, boom. As you can see, because he crashed down, that only left a one-on-one blocking matchup out there, and we scored a touchdown. And again, bear in mind, these are all, I have this set up for random plays, so you can see the very next play that I'm running here is a completely different defense. Same play for me, but a completely different defense. Now I decided to go into a triple option to show you guys what it's like if you have a read key defender, and you'll see this P out here, that is your pitch key defender, okay? And you also have a Mike linebacker. This is not like, the Mike linebacker is going to be there pretty much on every play, so he's going to be like a staple of the defense, just like the quarterback of the defense, like everyone always calls the Mike linebacker, right? Now, as you can see here, we have this P, though. We have this pitch key defender, and what this means for a triple option, I'm going to show you in a second, is first we're going to have our read, which is going to be determine whether or not we hand it off to Dinkins up the middle. Like if that guy lurks on the outside, obviously we want to hand it up, hand it off to Dinkins and see what we can do up the middle. And if he crashes down inside towards Dinkins, we want to keep it with the quarterback. But then once we keep it with the quarterback, we are going to have to read the pitch key defender out there based on what he does. That's going to determine what we do, whether we pitch it or not. If he plays the running back and he cheats to the outside, we'll keep it with the quarterback and keep going upfield. And if he comes straight toward the quarterback, we will pitch it right away to Singleton. But here we go, because I'm not controlling both sides of the ball. I know you see some YouTubers control both sides. I do have 2 controllers, but I'm not doing that because I just feel like it's kind of cheating the system when you do that, right? I know that they do it for the purpose of just showing you guys stuff, but I want to show you guys how this would happen if you were going against either an AI or if you're going against, a human opponent who was actually playing properly. So we are going to go outside. And now, obviously, he came toward the quarterback. That pitch key defender came toward the quarterback. I was able to pitch it out and get more yards. So you can see the read key defender came inside on the play towards Dinkins on that one. So we were able to keep it with the quarterback by holding X. And then when we saw that the pitch key defender was coming straight towards the quarterback, boom, we got it straight out to Singleton, and we were, picked up a little bit more yardage. So now, as you can see, now obviously that got blown up, but you could see when I hiked the ball that guy stayed on the outside. He literally stayed out there and lurked, and that's a good example of, a situation where you would just want to hand it straight off to the running back to try to get yards up the middle. We didn't get yards, but the important part is that we read the play properly, because we probably would have lost a lot more had we started to run out there with the quarterback, because then at that point the pitch key defender only has to play the running back at in that particular situation, because the read key defender has the quarterback all to himself. Now, you also see these plays that have these little blue routes on them, and these are called check and release routes. Now, on these plays, you'll see that there will be a blue triangle with a C, right? Okay, so the C means that is the check defender. Based on what he does will determine whether or not Richardson here for Baylor will run this route or not, right? So if this guy comes on a blitz, Richardson's going to pick him up off that blitz and, try to pick him up, give Finn more time, give the quarterback more time, and then go out on his route. But if he doesn't come in for, any kind of blitz, and if he stays back in coverage, then Richardson will run the route, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So he stays out there in coverage, so immediately Richardson goes out to run that route. He checks it real quick, sees what the check defender is doing, and then reacts based off of that. Now I'll give you an example of what this looks like with a tight end. So we can see here, our check defender is that linebacker right to the left of the Mike linebacker, right? So 87 here, Johnson is going to determine what that check defender is doing on this play, and he'll go out on his route. See, he goes out almost immediately because the linebacker dropped back in coverage. If that guy was to blitz, that would not happen. I'll give you another example where we actually have two blue routes on this one, both check and release routes, and you'll see we only have one C, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Johnson, the tight end on this play, is on the line of scrimmage, which means that he is going to block that defensive end and then go out on his route, unless that defensive end is in like a QB contain or something like that. But that safety back there, Richardson is going to read that, and really the only way that he's not going out on his route here is if that safety comes on a blitz, which it doesn't look like he is, but hey, anything could happen. I'll hike the play to show you what I'm talking about here. So as you can see, Richardson goes out. He is covered up, but you saw the tight end Johnson was actually on a blocking assignment. I'll do it again. You'll see Johnson will block and then go out on a route, and boom. You know, he's got some green grass here. So, you know, I just wanted to show you guys several different examples and several scenarios of how this could happen. So now for this particular example, I did actually have to use two controllers to control both sides so that the offense didn't hike the ball real quick. Now, I have a simple toss play going out to Quinshon Judkins here to the outside, right? Now, what you'll see where I'm controlling Michigan with the other controller here is if I go to show the play art, you're going to see a couple of other different letters that we have here. First, you're going to see C in with a red triangle underneath of it, and F with a red triangle underneath of it. So F is what's called a force defender, and basically this is typically going to be on a run play, right? His job is to force the running back inside towards where the help linebackers and the defensive linemen and all that stuff are. His job is to contain and make sure that running back doesn't get the outside edge, in other words. Now, the C on the left-hand side here is what we call a cutback defender. There's two of them on this play, and their jobs are to make sure that no matter what happens on this play, if Quinshon Judkins decides to come back against the grain and go to the other side of the field, those two guys will be there waiting for him, right? So, like, if everybody just crashed to the right side here and they toss it out to the right, if Judkins had the wherewithal to reverse field and go back the other way, he could have, green grass ahead of him because everybody went to the right? And if he was fast enough, he could, he maybe could take it to the house. But that's the job of these two cutback defenders, to make sure that does not happen. Now, I'm going to show an example of this, or at least I'm going to try to show an example of this working the way that it should. So now, as you can see, that cutback defender right there, number 7, when I cut back the other way, he was right there making sure that I was not able to do so, okay? Also, I want to show the force defender. As you can see, it is number 2 there. And as you can see, did you see him stay home there? He kind of backpedaled instead of coming straight towards the running back. He backpedaled a little bit just to make sure that Judkins didn't feel like, okay, I can hit this edge and then just go up the sideline. Now, last but certainly not least, I know we've all seen these blue dots right here that we have above each one of our linemen, right? On this particular lineman, Stewart, you can see he's got a star under him, which means he's a good player, and he's got 4 blue dots above his head. Those blue dots indicate pass rush moves that he has at his disposal. He's got 4 of them. That's not going to be for everybody. This guy, Grant, is real good because he's got 5. So does this guy, and this guy's got 4 as well. So it's actually kind of crazy. As you can see, Michigan is really good, but you'll see guys that'll have anywhere from 1 to 5 different, blue dots above their head. You may also notice that over time, the amount of blue dots over the head of the lineman will change. Now, in open practice, it doesn't change here because each play resets. But if you're in game, you might have a guy that has 5 bubbles, but he only actually has 2 of them filled. What that means is that he has tried pass rush moves and failed, or that the lineman has grown a resistance to some of those pass rush moves, which will also happen over time, indicated by this red bar. These red bars that you see underneath of the lineman, that just means that over time, they are learning the pass rush moves that this defender or defensive lineman uses. Now, you see, if I come up to the line of scrimmage with Page here, he's only got 1 pass rush move, as indicated by the 1 blue dot above his head. If I come up like I'm blitzing, as you can see, like I said, Only one pass rush move for him because he's a defensive back. He is not a lineman who does this stuff all the time. Now, as the blue dots turn gray throughout the game, right, you'll notice that they will refresh, over time. I'm not sure how long it actually takes. I've looked it up. I've Googled it. I've tried to figure out how long it actually, takes for it to refresh. But I think it's just based on the game. Now, whoever we line up with on the defensive line, that's going to depend on, the meter that we see below each of these offensive linemen, right? So I'm on Grant, and it's showing me the left tackle and the left guard. I'm on Graham now, and it is actually showing me the right tackle and right guard. If I move Graham over, however, I can now see the center because the center probably now has Graham as his assignment based on where he is on the defensive line. So if I go to Graham, you'll see that the right guard has a little bit of resistance built up to Graham's pass rush moves at this point in the practice. But if I actually look at the right tackle, he doesn't have any resistance built up so far to Graham. However, moving over to Moore, moving him inside, you can see that right tackle, while he hasn't gotten enough blocking against Graham to figure him out, he has started to figure out more because he has, excuse the pun, he has blocked him more. So again, man, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to bring you guys the normal type of videos that I wanted to bring to the channel. Just so many ideas, concepts, and things that I want to show you guys and teach you guys. But for now, I do hope that this helped you. I've been seeing a lot of people that have been a little bit confused about these types of things, like, how to read these read keys and these defenders and these letters. But if you did learn something in the video, man, consider leaving it a like for me because, again, like I always say, it helps out so much more than I ever thought it did. And if you guys are rocking with me but you're not subscribed yet, stick around, man. Join us on the journey here because it's going to get so much better. If you haven't submitted a player yet for the Dynasty, be sure to do that too. But I'm going to get out of here and see if I can't try to do some more troubleshooting and see if I can't find a workaround for what's going on with Team Builder right now. But we will be back very, very soon with so much more. Thank you boys so much as always for all the support. You guys are the true goats of this channel. So much love to you and everyone in this entire community. And I'll catch you boys in the next one.